Guys, I guess we have to do it this way because I have so many problems. I just have so many problems. And my head is starting to hurt. It's like no matter what I try to do, I just keep hitting roadblocks. So I tried putting up my media for tonight. It didn't work. It didn't work. So we're just going to roll with it, right? We're going to roll with the punches. Rolling with the punches. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for watching, if you watch it tonight or later on. So, this is my business journey journal with tonight's topic, problem solving. Well, apparently, I had a problem with putting up my media background. And so, I solved the problem by just giving you what you got. So, I guess we might as well just continue. We'll just continue. So, last week we talked about Pay My Pal, which honestly we learned that it is possible to have both a business and a personal PayPal account. However, you might want to research the fees associated with sending and receiving online payments and money. So tonight's topic is problem solving. Start with our pop dream affirmation. Don't wait to be discovered. And that's from Unknown. So tonight's affirmation is don't wait to be discovered. If you wait to be discovered, maybe you'll never get discovered. So if I waited tonight to figure out how to add my media background, I would have gave up and not even continued. Unfortunately, I don't like to give up that easily. So I have my Trapped Ruby Sip and Think mug because I figured if we're problem solving, is a problem similar to feeling trapped? It's just a question. I actually looked up what is a problem. A problem is a situation that is preventing something from being achieved. So I want you to think about some problems or situations that are being prevented to be achieved. And once you can figure out what those problems or situations are, then you can start dissecting them to figure out how you're going to solve them and if they are solvable, right? Now, I might not talk exactly about all of the problem solving within running your own company, your own hobby, whatever it is, right? Because problem solving, it's a day-to-day thing. Like, I feel as though I'm trying to figure out solutions every single day. Not just for my business, for my normal job during the day, but for my family, for myself, for my life. So I like to think of problem solving as an overall subject. It doesn't necessarily pertain just to business, even though this is my business journey journal. And the reason I thought about it tonight as the topic was because if you're running your own business, you have to know how to solve problems because they're going to come up. But if you're in a business situation, you have to utilize your problem-solving skills that you learned throughout your life. And if you didn't learn, you would ask someone or you would try to figure it out, you know? Like, I think problem solving, I feel as though with my business journey journal, every single day, there's like another roadblock. And I'm like, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this or how I'm gonna do that. What does that mean? Does that mean, Sheri, I have to go learn a new app, learn how to do another subject to figure it out? Could I pay someone to figure it out? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, problem solving is the act of defining a problem. Figuring out, is there a problem to begin with? Because when I look at the definition of a problem is a situation that something is preventing it from being achieved, can it still be achieved? And how am I going to get there? Or how am I going to achieve it? What's that one thing that's preventing it from being achieved? Is it possible? I ask all these questions. See, I just happen to be one of those people that I may stop for a moment, maybe a year or two, maybe a month or two. It doesn't mean I stopped thinking about that problem. It just means maybe I wasn't able to solve that problem at that particular time. So, problem solving is the act of defining a problem, determining the cause of the problem, identifying, prioritizing, and selecting alternatives for a solution, and implementing a solution. Can you tell me any problems you have that maybe we can come up with a solution? I think this is why people get together and they brainstorm. Well, to be able to solve problems, first you have to have a problem that you need solving. And then you got to have some problem-solving skills. Those skills are very important, and I hope that most people in life have learned some problem-solving skills in their life. If they haven't, maybe they need to revisit that. Because those skills will help you to determine why an issue is happening and how to resolve that issue. It's one of the key skills that employers seek in job applicants. Now, if you were born and taught problem-solving skills, great. Some people had to learn their own problem-solving skills growing up. And again, you might say, Sheri, well, how does this pertain to your business journey? Because I keep running into some problems in my business, and I'm trying to figure out how to solve it. Do you want an example? So, I have been working a lot of hours, right? Since COVID restrictions and the vaccine, the economy is opening back up, right? Well, because the economy has been closed and so restricted, people were halted and couldn't do what they wanted to do for a year. So now that they are starting to feel safer, they're coming out of their shell, and they're all coming out at the same time. They're all coming out at the same time. And it's really trying to maneuver between all of them, right? But it can take a toll on an individual. So, for instance, my business started during Corona. Actually, it started before the shutdown. That was something I had been working on and planning to start before the shutdown. However, I did not market it and I did not push it out there till a couple of months after. But that was still my goal. But I was hit with that new challenge. So, of course, not being able to go out and socialize, having more time at the house, if you want to say that. Honestly, being in the health field, no. But I'd come home, I'd have time to regroup, and I'd be able to work on my business. Now, with the activity for my day job increasing more than ever, I've had to take some time away from my business. And again, now that the economy is starting to open up, it's affecting my family, and each one has a certain problem or issue that requires my attention and time. So if you've noticed, I have not been able to get my blogs out as quickly as I had been in January. If you've noticed, I was unable to post my business journey vlog for tonight to let people know that I was coming on tonight. So I can see that I'm slowing down with my output for my business. At the same time, my business is growing, so I have to be able to keep up with the demands of the business. And I'm still working on my product descriptions for my search engine, and the more I fix them, the more my products are out there on the internet, the more they're getting seen. So the more traffic and the more awareness I'm getting, right? So it's keeping up with that. But when you're also creating posts, I have to be focused with my creativity and my mind. And if I don't have the time to focus on it, it doesn't come out right, or not in the way that I feel it comes out right. So I feel like I'm rushing just to get it out to meet the demands that I had set for myself. But that's only temporary. This is only temporary, what I'm going through, right? However, it's making me look at the whole situation as it gets nicer out. You're going to be outside more, right? As the restrictions lift, you're going to want to be around your friends more. So I don't necessarily think of it as a problem because it's not. What I'm trying to say is I feel as though these are just adjustments that have to be made. These are adjustments that I have to make so that what I'm putting out is efficient and effective, right? To me, my biggest problem, which prevents something from being achieved, is me. It's me. If I want something to be completed, I can get it done. So, if I'm telling you that the solution is me, then where am I to make those adjustments and those changes? You know? Can I keep up with the growing company? And then I sit there and say to myself, well, you know what, Sheri? This is a marathon, not a sprint. If it doesn't get out, it doesn't get out. Do it when you know you can do it. Which might mean I might not do my business journey journals for the month of April so that I can revamp and reorganize myself. Problem solving is important both to individuals and organizations. It enables us to exert control over our environment, which again goes back to the environment that's around you, the environment that you grew up in. How did you problem solve that? There have been some changes in my environment that I am adjusting to. Is it a temporary situation or is it more long-term? So all of these adjustments could affect my business and my business journey journal, my sip and thinks, everything that I enjoy doing. I don't like to necessarily get into what all of my external problems are. I can tell you that they are other people's problems. However, when other people's problems start affecting you, that's a problem. So, it says here that problem solving is about addressing risk. So what is the risk of these external factors that are prohibiting me from doing what I need to do? And how do I solve that problem? I've already figured it out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to handle it with the external factors. It may take some time. However, I still have to get up every day and I still have to do what I need to do in regards to my responsibilities. Humans have learned to identify trends and developed an awareness of cause and effect relationships in their environment. So, one situation caused a change in my living environment. What's the effect? Think about that for a minute. Think about it. And without talking about other people's business, I have my reasons for why I do what I do, because I have a huge heart and I care about people. And if being at my house is where they're safe, then that's where they will be. See, being safe and feeling safe are two different things. Tonight, I actually had, and you'll see it in my blog when I get to it. I might catch up on all my blogs in April, because I'm telling you guys now, I'm planning in April to kind of just take some me time to regroup myself, because I think it's important for Sheri to take care of Sheri. Even though Sheri's taking care of everybody else, Sheri still needs to take care of Sheri. And that's part of the problem. Because again, Sheri is the reason something is being prevented to get achieved, right? I'm also working on time management. Time management is a huge key factor for me. Making sure that I'm able to get done what I need to get done. So on my blog, you'll see I had my background done up for you guys, and it was Einstein's big idea, which Einstein's big idea is E equals mc squared. So it's the most famous equation. Most people think of solving a problem, or problem solving has to do with equation and math. But it was interesting. I have it up on my computer. It means energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. So then I was like, oh God, how am I going to explain that to people? Because just seeing that right there, I'm like, oh my God, I'm thinking of like energy and all this stuff in the spiritual world, right? So if I had to explain it to a child, I looked it up. I have the whole meaning. I'm not copying, because it's Einstein's big theory. Mass is going at the constant speed of light equals the amount of energy needed to reach that speed. So in other words, it states that the amount of mass you want to reach the speed of light determines the energy needed to do that. So if my energy is dwindling, how am I ever going to match the speed of light of a growing business? So that's what I have to kind of figure out, and I have to adjust, because it's only going to continue to grow the more brand awareness we have. There's 9 essential problem-solving tools: fishbone diagrams, flow charts, strategy maps, mental maps, idea maps, concept maps, layered process audit software, charting software, and mind manager. Effective problem solving is one of the key attributes that separate great leaders from average ones. Are you a great leader? Step 1, we want to identify the problem. So Sheri's problem is that she is depleting her energy and not having enough time to keep up with the creativity and demand of her online business. Did I realize that it would take off the way that it did? No. Just went into it enjoying it. But then when I started actually marketing it, and I just started, and I have all these ideas, and I want to make sure that I do it efficiently and effectively. So I'm identifying the time management, lack of energy problem. Analyzing the problem. I don't know, did I just analyze it for you? I can see it growing. Describe the problem. Well, I have a lot of external factors in my life that take up a lot of my time. But whose fault is that? It's mine. It's totally mine. Look for the root of the cause. Well, I must be the root of the cause, because if my energy is dwindling and I'm trying to figure out how to time manage my time so that I can continue with handling my responsibilities, helping my family and my loved ones and others who need it, and being able to enjoy creating and doing my business, develop alternative solutions. Well, I'm going to take a Band-Aid and I'm going to put the Band-Aid over me in April and regroup myself. Now, 2-3 days of some good sleep can really help me, right? But right now, that is not possible. I know that I'll get there. I'll be able to sleep sooner or later. But right now, it's not possible. So if it's not possible for me to get the sleep that I need to figure out what can wait and what can't, right? So maybe that's an alternative solution for me. Implement the solution. We'll see. That's my problem too. Again, it all falls back to me. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. And then measure the results. So of course we got to do some trial and error. Just because I may take a break doesn't mean that I can't get back to it. Now, I know a lot of people that, when they graduated from high school, they knew they were going to college, they knew what they wanted to do. But then I know some people like myself who started in business school, didn't get my certificate. I only had like a month left. I know. It's all me. I'm the problem. And I waited and said, oh, I'll go back. Well, the business school closed. I still owed all the money, but I never got a certificate, and I wasn't able to get all the credits. So I said, screw it. I'll just go back another time. Well, another time was like 7 years later. And my credits from business school did not count, and I had to retake all the classes. Talk about brains. I can sit and complain, Sheri, why do you do these things over and over again? But that's not going to get me anywhere, and that's not going to solve the problem. So, I wanted to show you guys something. I'm not sure how it's going to benefit you for my business journey journal. And again, I'm just problem solving for trying to figure out how I can get some sleep, reorganize myself, be creative, handle the demands of the growing company, and continue where it's easy. You know what I mean? So, I have this friend. He's really my friend, honestly. I don't know if we're like business associates, but he's my friend. And I don't always agree with him. And he knows it because I'll tell him. And I think that's what he likes about me, is that I'm like completely honest with him. I'll be like, look, listen, dude, like, I don't care what you do. You're just not doing that shit to me. If you did, we're going to have a problem. But I have a friend, and he was talking about his life is just this big ball of yarn, right? And so I was like, oh my God. He doesn't know what to do with a big ball of yarn. So I found my yarn. It's a real funny story behind this, actually. I found my yarn, and I'm looking at it. It's called Silky Soft. 100% acrylic worsted weight yarn. Now, I bought this yarn at Ames when I worked there over 20 years ago. Actually, almost 22 years ago. Ames is no longer around. It's similar to like a Kmart. But I worked there when I was pregnant with my daughter. And I worked in the craft department. Second shift. And I bought this yarn for 50 cents. Now, the weird thing is, when I found this yarn, because I have a big bag of yarn, right? This just happens to be one of the yarns that was in there. I was pregnant, and it reminds me of when I was living with 6 people in an efficiency apartment, and I was 6 months pregnant, sleeping on the floor. Imagine what that does to your back. I had no money, had nothing. No car. But I still made it to work. That was a challenge every day. But being as sick as I was when I was pregnant, a lot of times I would sit and I would crochet. So I had this tool called a crochet needle. It's got a little hook there, right? And I had my 50-cent yarn. I was always a gift giver. I always wanted to give gifts to people, especially around Christmas. And I remember one year, I had this yarn and I had this tool. I crocheted keychains and gave them to my friends. And I crocheted scarves, which leads me to what you can do with your ball of yarn here. I made a blanket out of that yarn for my baby girl. So you can take the yarn, you can take your little tool. You may not have much, but my baby girl had a warm blanket. Now, to take it a step further, where did I learn to crochet? Well, I told you I'm mixed, right? So I'm also Polish. And my great-grandmother taught us all how to crochet. And my mom made this hat for my son. And what my mom and her sisters did was they would make hats, they would crochet them, and they would donate them to the babies at the hospitals. But my mom liked to keep the tradition, so of course she made me my hat, right? Which all falls down the line of when I was a baby, my great-grandmother made this jacket sweater for me. And I was this little princess, and I'd wear this to keep me warm. So, this is about 44 years old. All from a bowl of yarn, or ball of yarn, ball, I don't know, have you ever seen yarn in a bowl? But all from 50 cents. So, I like your idea. I think it's great if you're able to do that. Wonderful. But I also think that you can figure stuff out. You can solve some problems. So funny. I was watching a show the other day. It was like a sitcom, and it was a husband and a wife, and they were saying how the man is supposed to fix things, like whenever there's a problem, he likes to fix it, where he wonders why his wife is upset with him, even though he fixed the car, or he fixed the dishwasher, or he fixed the sink, but she's still upset with him. And in the sitcom, it came back that the wife was like, I didn't want you to fix it. I just wanted you to listen to me. So figure out what the problem was from that. She just wanted him to listen to her. It's great that you fixed it, but did you really listen? So I picked problem solving for a reason tonight. I picked it because there's a lot of external factors as well as internal factors that are preventing me from moving forward. And I need to solve those problems in order to grow. I also have in my seed earrings that my girlfriend gave me. I figured I'd wear them because it's the perfect time of year to be planting your seeds. You never know what will grow. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Albert Einstein. Thank you for joining me for Sheri's My Business Journey Journal problem solving tonight. I hope I didn't confuse you any more than I confused myself. But my next Business Journey Journal is going to be on March 23rd, and we're going to talk about product descriptions at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch any of our videos on YouTube, Facebook, IGTV, and at sherrysdreamcatcher.com blogging site. You can also see me for our Sip and Think chat on March 26th, where our topic is going to be April Fools. So if you're feeling trapped right now, just know you're not alone. You can figure it out. But if you need some help, let me know. I'm really good with one-on-ones.